911, where's your emergency?
We found a body.
In Seattle this morning, police are hunting a mass murderer believed to have killed as many as 21 prostitutes in the last 22 months.
Because so many of these bodies were discovered accidentally, some believe there are many more victims in these woods yet to be discovered.
The Green River murders held the Pacific Northwest in the grip of terror and uncertainty for nearly 20 years. More than a decade since the conviction of Gary Leon Ridgway, Governor Inslee's decision to put a moratorium on the death penalty has prompted some of those most involved to speak out about the benefits of capital punishment and revisit this infamous case.
It was a pretty intense period of time. Did I get tired? Yeah. Did I get down every now and then? Yes. Was it hard to collect the remains? Absolutely. The memories still, are there.
When advances in DNA technology led to the arrest of Ridgway in 2001, the community breathed a collective sigh of relief. But for victims' families, and for those tasked with bringing him to justice, the case was far from over.
What's difficult about police work is you know you have the guy. We knew we had the guy. But now you got to build a case.
Much of that task fell on the shoulders of Dan Satterberg, then Chief of Staff for King County Prosecutor Norm Mailing, who passed away in 2007.
My heart sank a little bit just because I thought, we're not ready yet. We've got mountains of paper, literally more than 1 million pages. And I realized as an attorney, we have to give this all up to the defense. Lots more work went into other cases that we thought he was responsible for. We had 7 cases, and then we realized, that's all we're ever going to have.
And as we were pushing forward on these 7 cases, we got word from the defense team that they wanted to have a discussion about a plea deal.
If you take the death penalty off the table, our client will tell you everything he knows about all of these missing women. Norm's response was not just no, it was hell no.
The initial response was, if anyone deserves the death penalty, this is the guy. And I knew Norm was struggling with this inside. And it was not a political struggle. This was really an emotional, heart, gut-wrenching struggle.
I think for Norm, during the time that he contemplated this, that the vision in his mind went from that picture of Gary Ridgway, of a psychopath who didn't care, and it went instead to the pictures of these young women, and knowing that they left families behind, they left children, or parents, brothers and sisters, most of whom would never know what happened to them. Because remember, we had 7 cases, and that's all we were ever going to have.
The families in these cases, the pain that they were going through, I will never understand, and hopefully never will have to understand. They knew what would be justice to them. All these things were so weight heavy.
The police really wanted this to happen. We had trust in the defense attorneys, and the big unknown was this Ridgway guy.
The defendant is willing to plead guilty to 47 counts of aggravated first-degree murders. Is that an accurate statement?
Yes, it is. Or it depends how many you find. I don't.
But is it?
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
Is it accurate or not?
We thought it might take a couple of weeks. It ended up taking more like 6 months because he would start to tell a story, and then at the end of the story he would say, well, none of that happened, that was all a lie.
What you gave us this morning, in my opinion, is totally unacceptable.
I'm trying to give you information without having to jump back and forth.
Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on that. You are not.
We had to verify all the information that he was giving us. This wasn't, 3 hours of discussion during the day. It would go on 8, 10, 12 hours.
What are your concerns about the consequences of them not believing?
Go through trial and get convicted.
And then what would happen?
Get the death sentence.
Do you have a preference as to whether you live or die?
Yes, I'd rather live.
In the end, he made enough confessions that were corroborated by the evidence that we were able to put together 48 cases. And when we started with 7 and we got to 48, we felt like this deal was worth it.
The next thing that we did, Norma and I agreed, we'll talk to each family. So we rented a hotel room up near the SeaTac airport, and they came in separately. Some of them were really upset because they wanted Gary Ridgway put to death. Some families cried. Some I just hugged.
Ridgway managed to avoid the death penalty by reaching a plea agreement in exchange for his cooperation.
Some families, though, are wondering why he's not getting the death penalty.
I believe we've been sold by the prosecutor for not giving us the justice that we could expect.
He don't deserve to live another day.
We have hated you. We wanted to see you die. But it's all going to be over now.
The mercy provided by today's resolution is not directed at Gary Ridgway. This agreement was the avenue to the truth. And in the end, the search for truth is why we have a criminal justice system.
Gary Ridgway will spend the rest of his life in prison.
Sometimes the justice is really about what does this defendant deserve, but sometimes it's bigger than that. And I hope we'll never have a case like this again. But in this case, the justice that we were able to achieve was really a resolution of this matter for the entire Pacific Northwest.
The only reason that we were able to solve as many cases as we did was that he wanted to save his own life. I don't care about all the people that I killed, but I want to live, so, can you make a deal to save my life? That's the tool that's been taken away from us today. And it may not be a Gary Ridgway, but there could be another monster out there that takes 1 or 2 or 3 lives. The detectives need that tool to say, tell us the whole story, and you won't be put to death.